So I've seen your concerns and your worries. Southgate, is he doing the right job? Has he called up the right players for the World Cup for England? So in today's video, Sean Dyche has been appointed the new England manager. And we're going to see what Sean Dyche would do, who would he call up, and just how England would get on at the World Cup with Big Dyche in charge. Let's dive in. So here we go. We come in now straight away at July 4th, the start of the domestic game normally within FM. Basically to see Sean Dyche now, you can see him there, big smiley face. He's now the head coach of England. We're going to see what Sean Dyche would do if he was the England manager within this simulation. We're going to go through to the World Cup just before the World Cup firstly and see who he'd select firstly for his team for the World Cup. And then we'll come back after the World Cup and see just how far he took England. Of course, Sean Dyche is known for his preferred formation of a 4-4-2. Will he be using that for England? Can you see England playing as a 4-4-2? It's a technical, proper English, British football. Will he go for that sort of style, or will he go for something that England are more used to right now? Of course, they've been playing with a back five in real life. So we'll see what happens. Let me dive ahead now and see who Sean Dyche has picked for his first England team ahead of the World Cup. So we dive back in now straight away. You can see there on screen. Key people, Sean Dyche, Harry Kane, Henderson. They're your main boys still at the England setup right now. But first, before we go look at the team, who he's called up for the World Cup, I want to have a nosy at how they've been doing in their lead up towards the big World Cup. So you can see they've played 2 games since Dyche took over. They beat Hungary 2-0 and a 1-1 draw versus France in the European League Div A. Of course, we know what that really means. It is the Nations League. And they have a friendly as well. They beat Israel in a friendly, beating them 3-0. And within the group, then, of course, they've got USA, Wales and Iran coming up now within the World Cup. But in terms of the team news, who have they called up right now? So here we go. We're going to go through the team now from top to bottom. You can see keepers-wise, similar to Southgate in real life, Pickford, Pope and Ramsdale are all in goal. The 3 keepers, probably the 3 you'd pick for most likely anyone anyway at this point of their lives. Defensively, Maguire, Stones, kind of what you expect really there. You can see Dyer there, Walker, Trent. The ones, again, you'd pretty much expect them there. But you can see in the middle there, Bukayo Tomori gets the call up for the World Cup. Of course, there's been a lot of debate saying, should this guy be in the World Cup squad in real life right now? Within this simulation, he will be there. Likes of Declan Rice, you probably see him more as a midfielder, really. She shouldn't really be in that role. Luke Shaw, Ben Chilwell, of course, not injured in this simulation, so he has been called up for the England squad. To go down now, I've mentioned Rice, of course, playing that midfield role, but who else is there? Henderson, Drewsbury Hall is the interesting call-up here. The Leicester midfielder has been called up for the England squad for the World Cup in this simulation. How will he do within the game, of course? Attribute-wise, he looks absolutely incredible. One player you want to see within this game. We're going back now into the team. The likes of Ward-Prowse, someone who wasn't called up for England in real life. Jude Bellingham, Raheem Sterling, James Maddison, of course, getting the call up in real life and within this game. And you can see there on the outskirts, and of course, Rashford playing more of a winger / striker, Mason Mount, and of course, Foden, Sancho, and Saka. With the front line being Harry Kane, Tammy Abraham, and Calvert-Lewin. Of course, Calvert-Lewin hasn't made the squad for a while in real life due to injuries, but Tammy Abraham, someone a lot of people have been saying he should probably be there over maybe Callum Wilson. He gets the call up for this simulation. But of course, the likes of Ivan Toney have not made the cut. But of course, a lot of these players haven't made the cut in real life, and some interesting ones who have made the cut in real life who aren't here. So of course, now you can see it on screen now. The likes of Pickford, Pope and Ramsdale, we already mentioned already in this team. Connor Cody does not get the call up in this simulation. Ben White doesn't get the call up. Nor does Kieran Trippier, oddly enough. Kieran Trippier being an odd one. You think he'd get the call up. He's not in that squad within this game. The likes of Calvin Phillips, Conor Gallagher didn't make the cut within the game as well. So there's a few interesting changes about players who have made it, who haven't made it. Maybe some injuries in there. But for now, let's dive in and see what happens at the World Cup of England, but with Sean Dyche as the manager. So we start things off at the group stage, and England go undefeated in the group stage against Wales, USA and Iran. England come through top, 7 points, a goal difference of 7. Not losing a single game, of course, in them games. They did beat Iran 4-0 and Wales 4-1. With a draw against the USA, a 0-0 draw in that one. Seeing England go through top of the group. So the second round comes round now, and you can see there, England withdrew up against Ecuador. 2-0 victory for England in this one. Seeing a brace from Jude Bellingham from midfield, and you can see there now on screen the tactic. He did go for, after all, Sean Dyche did go for a 4-2-2. Oddly enough, Phil Foden starting up front with Harry Kane. An interesting change of events. Something you wouldn't expect to see. But of course, the big one in that defence there, Tomori does start for England. Into the quarter-final stage now of the competition. Of course, we mentioned prior, England played France before the competition and did not get the victory. But this time they did. A John Stones goal in the 63rd minute, getting that all-important victory for England as they knock France out. As you can see now on screen, Foden with the ball into the box. John Stones gets highest, heads it home, and sends England through. So after knocking out one of the favourites in France, England took on Germany, the old rivalries, in the semi-finals of the World Cup. And this one, England beat Germany 3-0. Jude Bellingham again, yet unknown on the score sheet. And goals from Harry Kane and James Ward-Prowse coming from the bench and getting that third important almighty goal to see England go to the World Cup final. And as we get to the final, that all-important World Cup final, Sean Dyche stuck with his guns, playing that 4-4-2 and playing Phil Foden as a striker as England beat Spain 5-0. Goals from Foden, Bellingham, Foden again, Sterling and Calvert-Lewin tying up the tie as England beat Spain 5-0. So we'll dive in, look at some of the goals from that final now as Henderson gets the ball, plays out wide, finds Raheem Sterling, plays it through the middle, finds Phil Foden, one touch over the keeper with ease. Phil Foden put England ahead after just 24 minutes. Great big control from Rashford here for the second goal, drives forward, Bellingham edge of the box, left-footed effort, puts it home, top bins, 2-0 England. And the next goal starts with Rashford at the back, ball over the top. He finds Tammy Abraham, through on goal. He has option in the middle, he finds Phil Foden, Foden puts it home, 3-0 England. For the fourth, it starts with Bellingham. He finds Marcus Rashford on this left-hand side, cuts inside here, plays the ball across goal, and of course Foden misses it, but Sterling's there to put it home to make it England 4, Spain 0. With only 20 minutes to go, Rashford to the corner this time, finds Calvert-Lewin, and a famous World Cup victory for England as they lift the World Cup with Sean Dyche and his 4-4-2. Well, that wasn't the result I expected when starting this. I thought it'd be interesting to see what Sean Dyche plays, if he goes for his traditional 4-4-2, and who he plays where. The likes of Foden playing as a striker for the majority of the competition as well. A very interesting move from Sean Dyche. And for those who might have been interested as well, Harry Kane, you might have been wondering, well, Tammy started with Foden, where was Harry Kane? He was fully fit, he was sat on the bench. Sean Dyche thought Foden is the better output for this team, and he proved it with a brace in the final, and he brought home the World Cup for England. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Something a bit different on the channel, seeing how Sean Dyche would do as the England manager. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure you're subscribing to the channel and giving the video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these managerial simulations of how certain managers do at certain clubs, let me know in the comment section who you want to see next. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.